Hello, my beautiful souls. How's everybody doing today? This week, actually. Welcome to, what are we doing, guys? We're doing a weekly for January 27th through February 2nd. This is an intuitive reading. So basically, I let you guys know what the messages are coming up for this week. Please like this channel. Please like this video, subscribe to this channel. Questions, comments, let me know what resonates down below. That would be great. I just ask that you be kind. What else? Share this video, guys. If anybody really needs to hear what's coming up for the week, please share it to anybody that might need to hear that. And I think that's it. Let me just jump right into it. Oh, and look out for the monthly, guys, because we're already into February. I know I always say that, like, oh, it's so crazy, you know, here's another month. But when time goes by fast, in my particular situation, I like it. Wow, I can't speak today. And it definitely does feel like it's flying by. So we're almost done with the first full month of 2025. So let's see what this week has in store for us going into February. Okay, what do we need? We need to breathe. Okay, maybe Spirit is giving me a little hint right now. Let me take a deep breath. Okay, breathe is always about pause. Breathe is always about take a second, take a pause, take a, not necessarily a step back, but just, stop what you're doing and be more present, basically. So basically, Spirit is saying here, take a breather, take a break if you need it. Maybe you need to take a day off this week or something like that. But take a breath, take a pause before reacting to, like before we're actually, or, before moving forward in that way. Let's actually see what action needed says here. Okay, power. Okay, so we need to feel more power. We had something about power, I think, last week, where we're not necessarily connecting to our power. So this is kind of saying almost a similar thing. So we really need to understand how powerful we are. When I hear power, to me, it means that it's saying focus on what we can control. Focus on that, more of your higher self, because that's really where the power comes from, right? Like being authentic, being genuine, knowing that you are the most powerful force in the whole universe because you were created from the universe, that kind of thing. So basically it's saying, like, what can you control? Who the hell are you, right? Don't forget who the hell you are, basically. And take action from that place. So take action from a more powerful place instead of a disempowered place. What I will say too here is what gets in the way is fear. I know sometimes fear pops its ugly head in every once in a while. So this is basically saying, like, and to me, and that's why I mentioned higher self, because higher self is linked to love, right? You're being more loving, right? While you're in that side of yourself, that more authentic, real side of you. When we're in our ego, we can fall prey to hate, fear, all of those different things. So definitely coming from a place of power is definitely coming from higher self. That's really what it's saying. So be calm, cool, collective, take a pause, right? I like that these two are together, and come from a place of what you can control, calmness, and of course, from a higher self perspective, for a more loving perspective, if you look at it that way. All right, issue, what do we got issues with? Bully upside down. Okay, we had it in the light, I think maybe a week ago. So conceals deep fears behind verbal or physical abuse. Okay, so we're having issues with the bully. Honestly, this doesn't shock me. We've had this before, and I think we had it possibly the week before that as well. We had it in the light, which means that we were doing pretty good with either bullies in our life or the place of us bullying other people. But this is in the shadow this time, and we're having an issue. So it could be, let me see, it could be us, but I definitely do feel like it might be coming from another place. So if there is a bully in your life, you might be having issues. Guys, bully could also mean, like, I don't necessarily mean, like, let's go back to 5th grade when you were being bullied for your pigtails or something like that. This means that somebody is pushing you to do something that you don't want to necessarily do. They're coercing you. They're forcing you in some way, trying to control you, blackmailing you. I know this isn't great so far, and those are really terrible, terrible things. I'll be honest, it feels somewhat neutral, meaning like it's not huge, but it's not minor either. So just look out for any kind of bullying behavior, because it might, again, maybe it keeps coming up because sometimes you feel empowered about it, sometimes you feel disempowered about it. And it definitely does feel this week that it's disempowered. An example that I can think of is like maybe you live in like a co-op and you have, forgive me, I've never lived in a co-op, but I'm pretty sure you have to follow things with an HOA, like a board of some kind, and they're bullying you to, I don't know, take down the fence that you put up or something. Guys, bear with me. I don't own a home. I live in a building in New York City. And you don't want to do that. That's not what you want to be doing. You feel like you're being forced to do it. You feel like you're being bullied to do it. And you don't want to do it. You want to keep that fence up. So it feels like something like that, and I'm saying that, maybe it doesn't feel like that's a huge disruptor in life, but maybe the fence cost you a lot of money. Maybe it means something to you. Maybe, you've wanted a fence your whole life. I don't know, something like that. But it definitely does feel like we're having issues when it comes to somebody kind of coercing you, forcing you, bullying you to do something that you don't want to do, and it's not a good feeling. All right, what else is challenging this week? Imagine. Okay, so it's challenging to imagine a future. It's challenging to look forward. It's challenging to visualize what you actually want out of maybe a particular thing. This doesn't surprise me because we started out with more of the breathe card, which could mean presence, meaning like stay present, stop looking forward, stop looking backwards. That's what really that means. So, and we need to do that. We need to be present and look at, one day at a time kind of situation. And so basically this reinforces it, right? It says, all right, maybe we can't be looking at the future. Maybe we can't plan ahead for that vacation because you're not sure what's going to happen with work, if you're going to lose your job next week, or you want to quit, or you don't know if you're getting that promotion, etc. And you can't plan ahead. Okay, so this is really about not being able to see things right now in the future and plan ahead and start like making an action plan. And it might be frustrating because it is January, right? And it's almost the end of January. We're going into February, and maybe you feel like, oh my God, I don't have a plan for the year yet. I don't have things planned out. I don't feel goal oriented right now. And it doesn't feel great, right? It's okay. Okay. Spirit is coming through to tell us that it's okay. That Spirit is asking you in this particular moment in time, you really need to stay present about things. And it's okay if you cannot plan for the future for whatever reason. Again, this reading is for the collective. So a lot of you guys have like different things going on, but see how that applies. Okay, what do we need to change? Vows. Okay, so this is about a promise. Okay, this is about promises to yourself, promises to other people, contracts. Okay, so this is very interesting. It's under change. So, gosh, this is popping out. Okay, I'm trying to flatten it a little bit so you guys can see better. Guys, I promise, speaking of promises, I'm going, as soon as I get better, my number one thing I'm going to do is make these videos a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, okay? Because I know that this is just basic. This is a tablecloth. The angle's not the best, the visuals aren't the best, but I promise I'm going to get better with that. Okay, anyway, so changing, keeping your word, secrets, maybe not secrets, keeping your word to something that, that's the word I'm looking for. Promises, vows, sticking to what you say that you're going to do. And contracts, well, I would put contracts under here. And so what's changing? A contract is changing. What does this mean when I say that? The first thing that comes to mind is an example, if you're working as a contractor. So in the United States, you can work as a contractor. You're not an employee. Technically, you might be freelance, per diem, whatever it actually is. That the stipulations of the contract might change. Okay. Does that mean maybe not, how many hours you can work? Maybe, does it mean that now you have to come into the office and do your work? I don't know. So the terms of the agreement are changing. That's what it's saying. So there's terms of agreements changing. And there is some contract of some kind changing. Now, as far as, what you promise, this might be changing how you show up for people. So it could mean more commitment to people. You feel more committed to do something and commit to something, which is very interesting because we're getting the challenge with being able to kind of plan ahead, and then we have more of a presence, but it does fare well in that area. So it could be a little, it's not huge. I definitely do feel more of the contract stuff is going on here, but you could be just in general being more committal in life, committing to plans, committing to people. If you're somebody that doesn't want to commit to a relationship, this might be changing for you. Okay, so you might meet somebody this week that makes you not even necessarily committing with this person, but they make you think differently, or your perception changes in some way. So there's definitely some change in the parts of, it could be physical, actual contracts happening, like at work. A contract, by the way, is also a marriage. You hear vows in marriage. So something could be changing in your marriage pertaining to vows. Shout out to my people when maybe wanting to open their marriage up and have an open relationship. Okay, that could be there too. Okay, so and I'll be honest with you, it does feel a little bit more major. So some kind of contract or commitment is changing in some way, shape, or form. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, in a positive way that makes positive change. That's what I'm getting there. So that's good. Okay, focus. We have guide. Represents the nature of the divine in life and in yourself. Okay, so we're moving into the guide archetype. We're focusing on that. So guide. This could mean guiding other people to a better outcome. Showing people the way, especially if you've done something a particular way. I'm going to say something that's coming up as far as, because this is an intuitive reading, the word training is coming through. Okay, so saying focus on training, like it's almost like taking somebody through something that you've already been through. Okay, because that's really technically what the guide is, right? And if you've been through it, other people can go through it, and you're going to help other people through it, kind of thing. So focusing on anybody that maybe needs help in an area that you have already excelled at. Okay, so just watch out and and if it feels like you don't have enough time or something like that to help somebody with that, or what's going on this week, basically it's saying no, focus, try to make the time for that, focus on that, make that kind of like a priority if somebody comes through in that way. Okay, what do we need to reflect on? Time for a nap. Well, am I not surprised there because of the breathe card? Okay, so what do you need to reflect on? It says time for a nap. So basically, again, another pause card. Okay, another card that's saying stop, be present, take a vacation, take a day off. And the fact that it's under reflect is basically saying, like, how do you relate to that? Okay, guys, let me tell you this. Quick little story. I have had to reflect on how I rest I have learned so many lessons, okay, in a 3.5 year time. I could write a book based on all of the lessons I've learned, but one of them that I've learned is I need to reevaluate my relationship with constantly working, okay, and capitalism, and taking a break and resting and protecting my energy, and all of those different things, okay? This reminds me of those lessons that I learned. And so basically Spirit is saying, you need to reflect on how you vacation, how you have a life, how do you have a life balance? What is an ideal life balance for you? How do you want to move, I don't want to say how to move forward, because basically Spirit is saying, talk about now, right? We're getting a lot of present stuff. So basically it's saying, okay, how do I do it now? Okay, how do I, what is the best way for me to take a pause right now? That's even a good question right there. Okay, so I know you guys can come up with other ones, but basically reflect on your ability to take a break, pause, be present, rest, all of those things. Okay, responsibilities, we have acclaim. Okay, so this is about giving praise. Flattening these out. Okay, so your responsibility is to give yourself compliments. Your responsibility is to give yourself praise, to make sure that you are acknowledging how far you've come, and acknowledging where you are now. Okay. And so, yeah, not too much more I can say there. It's really important for you to carve that out this week. Give yourself a reward. I know we have actually we're not using this deck right now, but I do have a deck about reaping rewards. It's kind of similar. So definitely give yourself the praise that you need. Tell yourself a good job when you're, and receive compliments too. I want to throw that in there. Okay, money, finances, and career, upside down mystic, delusional report, the divine. Okay, reveals in intimate union with the divine. Okay, so interesting under money, finances, and career, because basically it's saying you're doing, you're kind of navigating these areas without a spiritual connection, without that connection. So the best thing I can say here with this is just be careful of things that may be going on with work, money, career this week that you feel like you're just doing to do it, and you're not necessarily doing it out of connection, where you might be doing something just for the money, and you might, and by the way, there is no wrong in that, by the way, because if you need money, you need money. Okay, but basically Spirit is just kind of highlighting that for whatever reason, but basically it's saying that you might be, and by the way, it says delusional, and that's kind of like jumping out to me. So I just, don't be fooling yourself, where it's saying like, if you're doing something just for the money, like it's okay, and just like know what it is, you know what I mean? Like, don't necessarily try to fool yourself that this is actually what you want to be doing, and this actually brings you purpose, and this is something that you're passionate about. It's okay if it's not and you're doing it. It's totally fine. Like, there's something here where Spirit just doesn't want you to be like fooling yourself, basically. So this has something to do with money, finances, and career. Like, it's almost like gaslighting yourself. Like, don't gaslight yourself. Like, it's okay to see things for what they actually are when it comes to money, finances, and career, and that's it, and it's okay to, sometimes I think like we feel like we need to be connected to something all the time, but sometimes we just need bridge jobs, or we need to make a quick buck for whatever, and it's okay. So it's kind of like Spirit is like letting you off the hook with that one. All right, we have surprise, not for you. Okay, so this is not for you. It's letting go of something that just doesn't resonate with you anymore, that doesn't serve you anymore, and so it's under surprise. So this is basically saying it might have something to do with well, first of all, the 6 is jumping out too. Okay, so 6 could mean 6 could mean responsibilities. So it might be a responsibility that you're letting go of that doesn't necessarily resonate with you anymore. Okay, we have the acclaim, so under responsibilities, which is basically giving ourselves praise, being good to ourselves, giving ourselves like that treat yourself energy. But you might be letting go of some other type of responsibility where you don't necessarily, it's not your responsibility anymore. Like letting go of something that you feel is just not, it's not your responsibility anymore. And the fact that it's under surprise, it could come very unexpectedly. The other thing too with the 6 is it's family stuff. So it might have something to do with family. Like a double whammy for this would be, I'm trying to think of an example here that would utilize both, basically, is maybe you've been helping out a family member with money. Okay, maybe you've been giving them money and you feel like it's your responsibility to help them. And you've been continuously like giving them money, and so basically you're not doing so well. So maybe something happened with your job and you're making less or something like that, and finally you come to the conclusion that I'm not going to pay this person anymore. Like they have to get up on their own 2 feet. I've been helping them for a while. Maybe it's a child-parent dynamic, right? And it's time for me to have them making their own money on their own, and it's just not my responsibility anymore. and I didn't think I would feel this way, or you know, I thought I would do this for another year, but you know, now it's time. That's a good example for this kind of energy. So it might be something along those lines, but it's just, it doesn't work for you anymore, doesn't resonate with you anymore, and it kind of comes out of the blue. And again, could be something related to responsibilities or family. All right, what's not for you? Catalyst. Okay, so this is something causes a change, like almost like kind of like consequences. I forget the card that we had in the friend slot last week, but I remember it not being so great. I think there were some betrayals or something like that. And so this is basically saying that we have consequences for our actions, like something happens that triggers something else, and like something, it's like the catalyst for it. And so there's a ripple effect in some way, shape, or form within our friends group. So something happens that causes something else. Maybe you have a friend breakup and then it causes you to lose membership to a club that you're in, a country club that you were in, or tennis club or something, that a friend of yours was the one that invited you. Do you see what I'm saying? That's like a small type of example, but that could possibly happen. It's kind of like saying like it's a domino effect is a good way to put it, for what's going on in our friend group here. Okay, romantic connection. We have advocate upside down, embracing negative causes or committing to causes for personal gain. Okay, it's under romantic connection. Embracing negative causes. Okay, so this is about shadow advocate. Okay. All right, so this could be you advocating for something that might be in direct opposition of, this is a little specific, but maybe, again, some of you resonate. If you don't, that's totally fine. And guys, let me know down below if you do. Or don't, you know, let me know. Both of you guys could oppose something, have opposing views on something, and you might get a little bit out of hand with it. You may really go too far with it, or go to a place of creating some kind of chaos and conflict within the actual dynamic because of the opposing views. Look, we don't have to agree on everything. I do believe that couples should have, and partnerships should have, you know, pretty much enough alignment to keep the relationship going, but it just might be opposing views that might get you in trouble, and having not the most harmonious connection within your partnership this week. If you're dating, you know, you might be finding out that you're not aligning with morals and things like that with the people that you're going out with. That's all that says. So watch out for that energy, basically. Not, and it doesn't feel like huge. Like, it doesn't feel like, you know, it creates, you know, when it comes to the partnership, like divorce or something like that. It just says, hey, you might get into an argument and you might be coming from different sides this week, and that's okay. Okay. Important. What's important? By the book. By the book is always about doing things in a structural way, in a routine way. So basically it's saying, hey, with everything that's kind of going on that we talked about, you know, maybe it's important that you stay in a routine. You need that this week. You need order this week. You need structure this week. So try to stick to it the best that you can. Health and wellness. What do we got? We've got courage. Yay! This is a good one for health and wellness. You guys know I like this slot. I like to see what comes up here. Okay, so having courage, being brave. So doing something maybe that you haven't done before that has to do with your health and wellness. Maybe if you're on a weight loss journey, you feel like you're going to take before and after photos, which to me is brave, you know, and putting it online and saying, like, this is what I was before, this is what I was after. So showing your vulnerability, and saying, like, hey, you know, if I can do it, other people can do it, like that kind of thing. This is how far I've come. That goes really well with the acclaim card. Like, you know, give yourself all the accolades, basically, is what this acclaim is about. So you've come so far kind of deal. So yeah, so you're being courageous. You're doing something when it comes to health and wellness. Maybe you are finally deciding to try something, and that's brave. You know, that would count as brave, is doing something brave. So maybe it's like a new health treatment that, you know, you've been kind of afraid to experiment with or something like that. But this week you decide to go ahead and go forward with it or something. Cool. Okay, last but not least, overall outcome, we have networker. Oh, that's an interesting energy to end the week with. So enhances unity through the sharing of information, engenders social awareness and empathy. Okay, so this is about being around people. This is about meeting new people. So definitely by the weekend. Oh, now I'm really curious. As of this recording, I haven't done the monthly for February. So, but something tells me it might be a pretty social month for us, which is interesting because up here in the Northeast, it is like 7 degrees and we don't want to go anywhere. I'll tell you that, Mitch. I mean, speaking for myself, but I think I speak for a lot of other people. But it is cold. It is cold. So so basically this is saying connecting with like-minded people, being social, getting yourself out there, putting yourself out there, being more visible, that kind of thing is really more towards the weekend and going into February, which is very interesting stuff. So very interesting energy to close the week. So guys, I think it looks like a great week. Again, we have our issues, we have our challenges, nothing that we can't work through, and we have our changes, and again, nothing that we can't work through. So looking good. Guys, have a wonderful week. Again, put down any comments, questions, feedback, just be kind down below, and I'll see you guys in the monthly and then of course in the weeklies. Okay, bye guys.